Hello everyone, I hope you're enjoying Messy Easter. My name's Pip and I'm from St Barnabas and we're here in the kitchen, so it's time for a baking craft. Very exciting. I'm excited, I hope you are too. In this craft we're going to be making and decorating some cross cupcakes. That's cross as in the cross symbol, not some angry or grumpy cupcakes. Now there are two ways which you can do this craft. You can buy some cupcakes from a shop and then decorate them yourselves, or you can make your own cupcakes and then decorate them as well. You stay with me here now if you want to make your cupcakes, or you can skip ahead to this time code and that will just show you how you can decorate your cupcakes. So if you're staying with me, firstly we need to get ready to bake. So we need to pop on an apron or some clothes, but we don't mind if they get a bit messy or a bit dirty. If you've got long hair like me, you want to tie back your hair nice and tight, and you'll want to wash your hands. So I've already done all that, so I'm ready to go. So I've got my bowl. You want a nice big bowl so it can fit all the ingredients in, and you want a spoon to do all your mixing. I find a wooden spoon works best because it's just a bit more comfortable and easy to use. If you do have an electric whisker, you can use that as well, but I'm going to do it all by hand. It gives my arms a nice workout. So firstly, we're going to pop in some butter or some margarine, and we want 4 ounces of this, or 100 grams. So we're going to pop that in nicely. Ooh. So we've got that in. 4 ounces or 100 grams, and make sure you do get an adult or someone bigger to help you if you're not used to cooking or baking. Now we've got our caster sugar, which is a bit finer than normal granulated sugar, and again we've got 4 ounces or 100 grams of this. So I'm going to chuck that in there. You can mix at this point, or you can just chuck all your ingredients in and then mix at the end, which is what I'm going to do. Next we add our eggs. You're going to want 2 eggs. You might want help with cracking the eggs, because it can be a bit tricky. I find cracking them into a bowl or a cup before I put them in the big bowl helps, so then if any little bits of shell fall in, you can easily get them out again. Just going to crack up the side. Whoop. There it goes, nicely inwards. Over there. Pop. Lovely jubbly. Got our 2 eggs, and we're just going to chuck them in as well. Now we've got some flour, so you want self-raising flour, or if you're using plain flour you just need to add in a fair amount more baking powder. So this is my self-raising flour. Again, I've got 4 ounces or 100 grams, and you can sieve it or not sieve it depending on whether you have a sieve or not. It doesn't matter too much, this is a nice and easy recipe. So I'm chucking our flour. I've now got a teaspoon of baking powder, which helps it to rise nicely, so I'll pop that in. Now you can put in some flavourings. A nice simple one is about 1 or 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract or vanilla essence. That makes it taste very nice. If you want to make them chocolatey, you could put in some cocoa powder. I'm going to put in some lemon juice because I love lemon cakes and I love anything with lemon in it, so I'm going to pop some lemon juice in. And the fun thing I always like when I add lemon juice, I don't know if you probably can't see, but it goes with the baking powder and it kind of bubbles up a bit because of the chemical reactions. So anyway, we've got all our ingredients in now, and you can find a list of ingredients elsewhere on this post, and now we're just going to mix them together. Hurrah! This is the fun part. Well, it's all quite fun. Oh, I always find it quite helpful if you hold the bowl and tilt it to the side slightly. You want to make sure that you're mixing all the ingredients in. You might find that there's bits of clumps of flour, so you want to make sure that you've got all of those as well. beautiful and it's looking great. There we go. Lovely. So there's our cupcake mixture made. Nice, simple, easy, quick. I do love this recipe. Whoa. And now we're going to need our cupcake cases and our cupcake. So you want a nice cupcake tin. So it's a tin with little indentations in it if you put the cases in. And you can use whatever kind of cases you want. So you could, I think there are reusable silicone plastic ones, or the usual paper ones are what most people use. And again, they could be nice and fun colours and different designs. Mine just happened to be pink. And then we're going to spoon the cake mixture into the cupcake cases. And you'll want about 1 tablespoon or 2 teaspoons per the cases. You don't want to fill them right up to the top, because remember they're going to rise. So about 2/3 would be good. And then we're going to put them in the oven for about 20 minutes or 10 minutes at 160 degrees or 180 degrees if your oven is not a fan oven. But it's just a good idea to keep an eye on the cupcakes. In the oven you want to wait till they're nice and golden brown on top, and obviously get someone to help you when you're dealing with hot things. Hello everyone! So our cakes are now out of the oven and they've all cooled down, so they're ready to decorate. Now of course you can use cupcakes which you've made yourself, or you can buy some cupcakes from a shop. There are lots of different ways to make icing and to decorate the cakes, but I'm going to make a nice simple butter icing. So yeah, and this is how we do that. So also you're going to need some butter or some margarine, and you want to put a bit of that into your bowl. So we've got some of that in there. We're going to want some icing sugar. And this is a nice powdery type of sugar, which you can buy. And I'm going to pop in a splash of milk as well, though you don't have to. And we're going to mix this all together. Now there is another simple icing you can make, and that's known as glacé icing, and that's just icing sugar with a bit of water. But I quite like butter icing. I think it tastes a bit nicer. As you can see, we've got the all coming together here, but it's a bit runny still. So we're going to pop in a bit more icing sugar. And you want the kind of consistency where it's going to hold its shape. Nice good arm workout here. And it's the same with when we were making the cupcakes. You can use an electric whisk if you want, but you can it's equally as easy to do it by hand, and it gives you a good arm workout. Grow them big muscles. There we go. And you want a nice silky smooth kind of, just to be nice and silky smooth. We're going to need a bit more icing. There are of course different ways you can ice your cupcakes. You could put chocolate on the top of them. You could buy ready-made icing. You could use the fondant icing, which you can roll out and make little shapes with. There we go. That's looking good. It's looking good. So it's slightly tinged yellow, which is just because of the colour of our margarine or our butter. So that's fine. But we can as well, we can change the colour of the icing. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make a few colours, so I'm going to pop the icing into a separate container or bowl, so I can have different colours of icing. I didn't actually have any other small bowls which you can see into, Actually, I do. Yeah, I do. There we go, so that's a nice consistency. Okay, so that's a nice consistency. It's slightly tinged yellow, which is normal, because that's the colour of the margarine or the butter. But you can change the colour of the icing if you want to have nice colourful cupcakes. So that's what I'm going to do. I want some different types of colours on my cupcakes. So I'm going to get another bowl and I'm going to put some of the icing into this so I can have two different colours. I'm going to need another spoon now. So I've got some food colouring. You can buy them like this, you can buy little tubs. I'm going to have some green. It's a nice spring colour. I'm just going to pop a few drops into a bowl with the buttercream. It's the same method if you wanted to colour your glacé icing, your water icing. And it's always better when you're seeing how many drops you're going to need for the amount of icing that you've made to always do a little bit less, because you can always add the colour, but obviously you can't take away food colouring. So that's a very nice pale green. I think I want it to be a bit darker. So I'm going to pop in a few more drops. It kind of reminds me of the grass a bit, lovely spring grass. Lovely. Lovely. I'm also going to make some pink icing. I haven't actually got a pink colour, but I've got red. So I'm just going to put in like a little bit of red icing, like a tiny bit of the red food colouring, and then that will mean that we'd get a really light red or a pink. I do love mixing it because you can see the colour like changing so dramatically, and the faster you mix it, the more the colour is going to change. And you want to mix it so it's the same colour throughout. It's all the one colour. There we go, and there we go. So there's my pink. So now we're on to, now we're going to start putting things on the cupcakes. Now we're going to put some icing on the top. So I've got my knife ready. I'm going to pop some of the pink icing on my cupcake. I'm just going to spread it on. You can use an icing bag and pipe it on nice and all fancy if you wanted to. But I'm just going to pop these on. I'm just going to spread it on, I think. Lovely, lovely, very tasty. So there we go. Very nice. And now the decoration which we're going to put on top of our cupcakes is a cross, like the cross that we've heard about in the Easter story, the cross which Jesus died on. And there's lots of different ways which you can make the little cross design. You could get the nice little writing icings which look a bit similar to our food colourings actually, and you can spread the icing to make the cross symbol. You can put it on with sprinkles, which is what I'm going to do. Or you can actually make your own little paper cross and stick them on at the top. So if you're going to want to make your own paper cross, you're going to stick that on the top. What you're going to need is you're going to need to cut out two crosses, which here are some I've cut out earlier. I've done this on some nice green card. And then we're going to stick one of these little cocktail sticks. Try and put it against the, there we go, dark background so you can see it. And then if you glue the two sides of the cross together and stick the cocktail stick in the middle, you'll have a little cross thing which you can stick in your cupcake. So here is one I did earlier with my two sides of card or paper stick together and the cocktail stick in the middle, and then we're just going to pop in the top of the cupcake and perfect. Isn't that great? So I'm just going to continue on now decorating. It's quite great fun. So we've only done one pink, so we're going to do next green. Get my knife. So you might think it's a bit strange that we're putting crosses on the top of our cupcakes, because it's quite a sad symbol in a way, isn't it? Because that's what Jesus. quite a strange symbol, but I actually quite like it. I find it's a symbol, first of all, of the story. It reminds me of the Easter story. It reminds me of what Jesus did. But I think it's also a symbol of hope, because you can see the cross is empty. Jesus isn't on it anymore, and it's kind of a symbol which tells us about the new life which Jesus offers us. And as he came back from the dead, as he resurrected, so we too have that new life in him. I've got my sprinkles here. I quite like, I've got these nice kind of slightly big balls, which I'm going to arrange on the top like a cross. So I'm going to put them on a plate. They will fall out. It's great fun. So then I can carefully pop them on myself in the pattern I want. Can be, oh no, that fell. This can be a bit fiddly. You might want someone to help you. But you can kind of use whatever sprinkles you want. You might have like little sweets which you can put on top of the cupcakes to make your pattern or your design. It's kind of really your opportunity to kind of be as kind of creative as you want. I really like all the kind of different bright colours of the sprinkles that I've got, because it kind of reminds me of that celebration, which I think is what Easter is. It's kind of that big party where everyone's invited and we can celebrate spring and new life and the story and what Jesus did for us. And so here's my cross. It's a little bit wonky, but that's the kind of idea. If you've got big ones, you can arrange them like that. Oh, it's a bit more green, I think. Pop some more icing on. Okay. Looking very nice. And I'm going to use some different ones. These nice bright and bold ones. And I've already washed my hands and everything, of course. So it's okay if I pour some onto my hand. And then I'm just going to drop them down in the shape of a cross. Ooh. You can use a stencil, so you can cut out a cross on a bit of paper and stick that, and put that on top of your cupcake and then sprinkle it, so the sprinkles won't go on the stencil and they'll only go on the bits of icing which are uncovered. But this is me freehanding it. Sprinkly, sprinkly, sprinkle. There we go. So that's all done. So there we go. Nice little cross on there with a cupcake. It's quite bright, so I'm trying to put it close to the camera so you can see it. And as you can see, I'm just going to put these on here. Ooh. So as you can see, there are like loads of different ways which you can make your cupcakes. You can make them nice and colourful. I'm going to pop the video off now and I'm going to finish off the cupcakes. And then I'll show the picture of all the finished cupcakes. But I would love to see your finished cupcakes as well too. I'd love to see the creative ways which you're going to make the cross design on the top of your cake and kind of all the different colours. That's what I love about Easter. It's such a great celebration of spring, of new life, of hope, and of what Jesus did for us. So yeah, I hope you have a great time, and I would love to see some pictures of the cakes you're going to make.